There comes a moment in life when you look in the mirror and realize that the only thing standing between you and everything you've ever wanted is your mindset. Not your past, not your parents, not your bank account, your mindset. Because the truth is, most people lose long before they ever start. They don't fail because life is unfair. They fail because they give up the second it gets hard. They talk about wanting success, but their actions scream comfort. They want greatness, but they're allergic to struggle. You can't live like that and expect to rise. You can't keep thinking soft and expect to win a hard world. You have to develop an unstoppable mindset, a mentality that refuses to break, no matter how heavy life gets. The kind of mindset that doesn't wait for motivation because it's built on discipline. The kind that doesn't cry when it's tired because it knows pain is part of the process. You gotta reach a point where your hunger is louder than your excuses, where your purpose drowns out your fear, because the truth is life will not wait for you to get ready. Opportunity doesn't knock forever. It moves on to the next person who's already grinding while you're still thinking. When you have an unstoppable mindset, you stop negotiating with your dreams. You stop saying, or maybe tomorrow. You stop letting temporary emotions make permanent decisions. You start moving with intention. You start waking up every day knowing you have work to do and you're not afraid of doing it. People with an unstoppable mindset don't need applause. They build in silence. They don't need validation. They create results. They don't get distracted by who's ahead or who's watching. They lock in until the mission is complete. You've got to be dangerous with your discipline. You've got to train your mind to stay calm in chaos, to stay focused in the storm, to keep moving when everything in you wants to stop. Because that's what separates the average from the elite. The ability to keep grinding when there's no light at the end of the tunnel. No reward in sight. No one cheering you on. That's where winners are made, in silence, in pressure, in pain. So if you're listening to this message isn't for the weak. It's for the ones who are tired of being stuck, tired of wasting potential, tired of saying in one day. This is your moment to wake up, to fight back, to take control. No more excuses. No more limits. No more waiting for the right time. The right time is now. The question is, will you keep playing small or will you finally decide to become unstoppable? Because once your mind locks in, once you flip that switch, there's nothing, no pain, no fear, no doubt that can stop you from winning. Being unstoppable doesn't mean you never fall, never fail, or never face doubt. It means you never stay down. It's about how you respond when everything around you tells you to quit. It's not about the moments when life feels easy and everything goes right. It's about those dark seasons where the world goes silent, when no one is watching, when you have to decide if the dream still matters even when everything hurts. The truth is, being unstoppable isn't glamorous. It's not about the motivational quotes, the hype, or the highlight reels. It's built in the quiet moments where your heart breaks, where your plans collapse, and you still choose to rise up again. That's where the mindset is forged. When your back is against the wall and you realize no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you anything. And the only option you have left is to fight your way through. But it is not the end. It's the beginning of real growth. The people who become unstoppable aren't the ones who got it right the first time. They're the ones who got it wrong hundreds of times, who faced rejection, humiliation, and defeat. But didn't let that define them. They used every loss as a lesson. They built their strength from scars. Because when you fall enough times, you stop fearing failure, start seeing it as part of the process, as proof that you're pushing beyond your limits. Every time you get knocked down and stand back up, you become mentally sharper, emotionally tougher, spiritually stronger. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as a weapon forged through adversity. That's what makes you unstoppable. You've seen the worst and you still refuse to quit. Most people never reach that point because they think struggle means something's wrong. They think pain means it's time to stop, but that's where they go wrong. Pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. The struggle is not there to destroy you. What's there to show you what you're capable of. Every setback is a test. Every failure a mirror reflecting your current level of strength. And the question is always the same. Will you fold under pressure or will you rise through it? When you have an unstoppable mindset, you learn to stand in the fire and not flinch. You don't panic when things fall apart. You don't complain when life gets heavy. You expect it, you accept it, you accept it. You understand that if you want to live a life that means something, pain is part of the ticket. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. The difference between those who stop and those who keep going isn't talent. It's how much pressure you can take before breaking. It's how long you can keep swinging when you have nothing left. That's what separates winners from watchers. An unstoppable person doesn't need applause. They don't need to be motivated every day. They have a fire inside that burns regardless of who's clapping. Because they've made a decision, a real one, not a half-hearted wish. They've decided that no matter what happens, they're going to finish what they started. That's not something you can fake. It's not something you can teach overnight. No, that comes from deep inside, from the part of you that remembers every time you quit too early and swore you never do it again. That's what makes you keep showing up. When life throws failure in your face, when people doubt you, when the results take longer than expected, that's when your mindset gets tested. You'll hear voices in your head telling you to stop, telling you you've done enough, that maybe it's not meant for you. That's when you have to silence the noise and listen to your heart, because your heart knows the truth. It knows that greatness takes time, that progress comes through pain, that every person who ever made it went through the same storm. They cried, they doubted, they struggled, but they didn't quit. They didn't let the moment define them. They used the moment to build themselves. That's what you need to do when life hits back. You don't run, you don't hide. You plant your feet, clench your fists, and keep swinging until the storm passes. Being unstoppable means you've made peace with the fact that it's going to be hard. You're not shocked when it hurts anymore. You're not surprised when people walk away or when things take longer than you planned. You understand that everything great comes with a cost and you're willing to pay it. Because you've realized that comfort kills ambition. You can't grow in safety. You can't evolve in ease. The person who avoids pain avoids power. But the one who embraces it, the one who takes the hit, learns the lesson and keeps moving forward, that's the one who becomes unshakable. Life can throw storms, but nothing can break them. When you become unstoppable, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop saying that maybe tomorrow. You stop letting your emotions dictate your execution. You become disciplined in your drive. You show up even when you're exhausted, even when you're uninspired, even when no one notices, because you're not chasing approval anymore. You're chasing progress. You understand that consistency beats intensity. It's not about doing it once when you feel good. It's about doing it every single day until it becomes who you are. That's when the transformation happens. That's when you realize the battle was never about talent or timing. It was about your ability to keep getting back up again and again until you win. The unstoppable mindset is not born. It's built. It's built in failure, rejection, pain, and loneliness. It's built in those moments when you're on the floor questioning everything and you still whisper to yourself, I'm not done yet. It's built when you keep fighting after everyone else would have walked away. It's built when you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I don't care how long it takes, I'm going to make it. That's where greatness began. So it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you rise. You will be misunderstood. You will be underestimated. People would talk about you, doubt you, and walk away from you. But none of that matters when you know who you are and where you're going. You don't need validation. You need vision. You don't need sympathy. You need strength. You don't need everyone to believe. You just need to keep believing when no one else does. That's what unstoppable looks like. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's quiet, consistent, relentless. It's you versus you every single day. And every time you choose to get back up, you remind the world and yourself that nothing and no one can stop you from becoming who you were meant to be. An unstoppable mindset is built in the darkness, in the moments when quitting feels easier than breathing, in the hours when no one is cheering, no one is clapping, and no one sees your effort but you. To develop that kind of mindset, you have to understand one thing. It's not about talent. It's not about resources. And it's not even about luck. It's about persistence. It's about your ability to keep going. Everything around you tells you to stop. It's about learning to treat every failure as fuel, every rejection as redirection, and every setback as preparation for a greater comeback. This kind of mentality separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Most people stop when they're tired, but those with an unstoppable mindset, they stop when they're done. That's the difference between winning sometimes and winning always. You see, persistence isn't glamorous, it's ugly, it's lonely, and it's painful, but it's what transforms average into greatness. They create their own, doesn't wait for motivation to come. They create their own. They don't wake up hoping the day will go right. They wake up prepared to make it go right. They understand that mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something you build brick by brick through discipline, consistency, and mental warfare. Every time you face something hard and you choose to keep moving, you're strengthening your mental armor. Every time you silence that voice in your head that says, I can, you're rewriting your identity into someone who can. An unstoppable mindset starts with the way you think when life hits you hardest. Most people break under pressure because they see struggle as punishment. But those with an unbreakable mindset see it as a test to prove how much they want it. When life gets harder, they get sharper. When things go wrong, they adapt. They don't cry about the storm. They learn how to walk through it. They understand that the world doesn't owe them comfort. It owes them nothing. And that's exactly why they never stop. They fight not because it's easy, but because they know there's no other way. They have burned the boats. There's no plan B, no escape route, no backup dream. It's win or die trying. Every person with an unstoppable mindset has gone through seasons of being broken, doubted, and underestimated, but they didn't allow those moments to define them. They used them to refine them. They learned that pain was a teacher, not an enemy. They realized that if they could survive the worst days of their life, they could handle anything. That's where persistence is born, not in the sunshine, but in the storm. When you stop waiting for the pain to end and start building through it, you evolve into something unrecognizable. You become dangerous, focused, and fearless. The key to persistence lies in one thing: emotional control. Because let's be real, your emotions will try to destroy you. One bad day, one disappointment, one betrayal, and your emotions will tell you to give up, to take it easy, take a break. But your mind, your trained, disciplined mind, has to be louder. It's to remind you why you started. It has to remind you that every step you take while tired, while broken, while doubted, is creating a version of you that can't be touched. When you master your emotions, you master your destiny. The unstoppable don't wait till feel ready. They move even when they're terrified. They show up even when they're not inspired, because they know that feelings come and go, but discipline stays. You have to train yourself to see the bigger picture when you're stuck in the small moments. Every repetition matters. Every day you show up matters. Every act of self-control, every moment of sacrifice, every second of patience, it all compounds. But you'll never see the results if you keep stopping when it hurts. You've got to learn to sit in the fire long enough to be forged by it. Everyone wants success, but very few want to go through the process that shapes a winner. The process doesn't care how talented you are. It cares how committed you are. When your mind becomes unshakable, it doesn't matter what comes your way: loss, rejection, failure, or betrayal, because your purpose becomes bigger than your pain. The unstoppable understand that persistence is not about speed, it's about endurance. It's not about how fast you reach the finish line. It's about your ability to keep running when your legs are shaking and your lungs are burning. Life will test you again and again to see if you're truly serious. It'll throw delays, distractions, and detours your way. And in those moments, persistence is not just your weapon, it's your identity. You have to remind yourself, I didn't come this far just to come this far. I didn't sacrifice my peace, my time, my energy just to quit when it's inconvenient. I came to finish. I came to dominate. You can't be unstoppable if you keep starting over. You got to be consistent even when no one's watching, even when no one believes, because your discipline is what creates belief. Your consistency is what builds confidence. You can't control when life rewards you, but you can control how long you keep showing up. Most people lose because they don't last long enough to see the reward. They give up a few moments before the breakthrough. But the unstoppable ones, they outlast the noise, outlast the struggle, outlast the doubt. They refuse to quit, and that's why they win. When you build an unstoppable mindset, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop letting excuses dictate your life. You stop playing small because you realize the world only respects those who are relentless. Persistence is not just about surviving. It's about thriving despite everything that tried to bury you. It's about showing life that no matter what it throws, you'll rise again. Every time you get knocked down, you come back stronger and hungrier. So if you want to be unstoppable, understand this. You won't always feel ready. You won't always have support. You won't always get the results you want right away, but you must persist anyway. You must keep grinding, keep believing, keep moving forward. Because there will come a day when everything you fought for finally makes sense. Every tear, every sacrifice, every sleepless night, it'll all click. And you'll realize you didn't just build success, you built yourself. And that version of you, the one that never quit, is truly unstoppable. To develop an unstoppable mindset, you must build unshakable belief in yourself. Belief so powerful that even when the world doubts you, you still move with conviction. Belief is the root of every unstoppable person's journey. It's not arrogance. It's not blind optimism. It's faith forged through failure, through struggle, through proving to yourself again and again that you can rise no matter how hard you fall. When you believe in yourself deeply, you stop asking for permission to be great. You stop waiting for validation. You stop playing small just to make others comfortable. Because belief is not something someone can give you. It's something you decide to have, even when there's no evidence that you should. This kind of belief doesn't come from motivation quotes or temporary hype. It comes from the trenches. It comes from showing up when no one is watching, from failing 100 times and still saying, I'm not done yet. It comes from the moments when you feel like an imposter, but you keep going anyway. Unshakable belief is born when your actions become louder than your doubts. It's built every time you choose discipline over comfort. Every time you silence the voice in your head that says, maybe I'm not good enough. When you keep proving that voice wrong, it starts to fade, and what replaces it is unbreakable confidence. A calm, steady belief that no matter what happens, you'll figure it out. The truth is, belief is the foundation of everything. You cannot grind hard enough. You cannot plan strong enough. You cannot dream big enough. If you don't believe you deserve it, you'll sabotage it the moment it starts coming together. Most people fail not because they lack skill, but because they lack belief. They're waiting for someone to tell them they're ready, but no one is coming. There is no savior, no mentor, no coach who can make you believe in yourself more than you do. The most powerful shift happens when you stop seeking external approval and start trusting your inner compass. When you realize that your self-belief is the ultimate engine, you stop hesitating and start creating. Belief makes you resilient because when you believe in yourself, you interpret failure differently. It's not the end, it's feedback. It's not proof that you're not good enough, it's proof that you're learning. Every time you fall short, belief keeps you focused on what's next instead of what's lost, turns pain into perspective. The people who lack belief let one mistake define them. The ones with unshakable belief let that same mistake refine them. That's why belief is power. It gives you the mental strength to keep going when logic says you shouldn't. But let's be clear. Belief isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's not about faking confidence or ignoring fear. True belief is about confronting your weaknesses head on and deciding they won't control you. It's about acknowledging the doubt, feeling the fear, but still moving forward. Real confidence comes from competence, and competence is built through consistency. The more you do something, the more you prove to yourself that you can handle it. Over time, that proof becomes belief, and that belief becomes unstoppable momentum. When you look at the greatest achievers, the difference between them and everyone else isn't that they had better circumstances. It's that they believed in their vision even when no one else did. They had an inner fire that refused to go out. They had nights filled with doubt, days filled with setbacks, but they refused to surrender their belief. They said, I may not be there yet, but I will be. That mindset creates movement. That movement creates momentum. And momentum creates miracle. The biggest killer of belief is comparison. The moment you start measuring your journey against someone else's timeline, you lose your power. Because belief dies when you forget you're unique. You're not supposed to walk someone else's path. You're supposed to dominate your own. Every time you compare your progress, you steal energy that could have been used to improve yourself. Belief grows when you stay focused on your lane, when you remind yourself that your story is still being written, and every chapter, no matter how dark, has a purpose. Unshakable belief means trusting the process even when you don't see the results. You have to understand that faith is not seeing the entire staircase. It's taking the first step anyway. Life will test you again and again to see if you truly believe. It'll delay your blessings, hide your progress, and make you question everything. But that's when you must stand firm and say, I'm not going anywhere, because belief isn't proven when everything is easy. It's proven when everything feels impossible. When you can look at failure and say, this is temporary. That's when you build something no one can destroy. You have to become your own source of belief. You have to speak power into yourself daily, because the world will constantly try to plant doubt in your mind. People will project their fears onto you, telling you to be realistic or slow down. But what they call unrealistic is exactly what changes the world. Every revolutionary idea was once considered crazy. Every great dreamer was once ridiculed. So stop letting small-minded people talk you out of your big vision. Protect your energy, protect your focus, and most importantly, protect your belief. Belief is not just mental, it's physical. It changes how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you show up. When you believe in yourself, your energy becomes undeniable. People can feel it before you even say a word. You start attracting opportunities, people, and moments that align with your confidence. But when you doubt yourself, the world mirrors that doubt back to you. So if you want better outcomes, you must first shift your inner dialogue. Speak life into your dreams. Speak strength into your struggle. Every word you say to yourself is programming your mind to either build or break you. Choose wisely. An unstoppable mindset requires you to be your own biggest believer, especially in silence. Because that's where belief is tested, when no one sees your effort, when progress feels invisible, when the reward seems far away. Most people quit in the silence, but those with unshakable belief, they grind harder in the dark. They know the silence is sacred. It's where you build the version of you the world will eventually see. And when that moment comes, when your breakthrough finally arrives, you'll realize it was your belief that carried you through every storm. If you want to build that kind of belief, start proving yourself right every single day. Keep promises to yourself. Do what you said you would, even when it's inconvenient. Each time you follow through, your confidence grows. You stop being a person who hopes and start being a person who knows. Because belief without action is fantasy, but belief backed by consistency becomes destiny. So remind yourself every day, no matter how many times you fall, you're not done. No matter how many people doubt you, you're not finished. The only thing that can stop you is you. As long as you keep believing, you're dangerous, because belief turns the impossible into inevitable. And when your belief becomes stronger than your excuses, you don't just chase success, you become unstoppable. When you finally decide to build an unstoppable mindset, everything in your life changes. You stop negotiating with your dreams. You stop explaining your hunger. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You move differently. You think differently. You wake up every morning with a fire that doesn't die down when it gets hard. It grows strong. Because the truth is, most people quit when life punches them. But those who are unstoppable, they bite down on the pain and keep moving forward. They don't see obstacles as ending. They see them as instructions. Every challenge becomes a message saying, you're being molded for something greater. You have to reach that point where quitting is no longer an option, where going back to average is more painful than pushing through the struggle. That's when you truly become unstoppable. Not when everything is perfect. Not when the money comes. Not when people start believing in you. Become unstoppable the moment you say, I don't care what it takes. I'm not giving up until I win. That's the switch. That's the shift. That's the shift. That's the difference between those who dream and those who dominate. Life is going to test you. It's going to break your routine. It's going to shake your confidence. It's going to throw things at you didn't plan for. But listen, those moments are not there to stop you. They're there to reveal you, to see what's inside when everything outside starts falling apart. That's where the unstoppable version of you is born, in the chaos, in the pressure, in the pain. Because diamonds aren't made in comfort, they're made under fire. So don't run from the struggle. Don't hide from the pressure. Embrace it. Let it harden you. Let it refine your character. Let it teach you what you're truly capable of. When you build a mind that doesn't flinch in chaos, when you stop needing things to be easy, you become a force no one can touch. People will wonder how you keep going. They'll question why you never stop. They won't understand that your mind is built differently, that your belief, your purpose, your grind are wired for greatness. The truth is, the world doesn't owe you anything, but it will respect you when you earn it. Every second you waste doubting yourself is a second you could have used building yourself. So stop looking for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. This is it. Right now. This is the time to rise, to focus, to commit. Build that unstoppable mindset and refuse to be ordinary. Refuse to bow to fear. Refuse to let circumstances control your destiny. Because once your mind is locked in, once you decide that nothing will stop you, the game changes forever. You were not born to live small. You were born to break limits, to conquer what scares you, to inspire those who thought it couldn't be done. So take a deep breath, look at your life, and decide. From this moment on, I will not fold, I will not quit, and I will not stop, because I am unstoppable.